Fantastic. It sounds like it's a journey that's still very much ongoing, and I'm curious for the audience, specifically the kind of other corporate leaders, perhaps watching this and looking for insights as to how you got to where you got to in respect of collaborating with partnerships, collaborating with startups, and really trying to understand some of the lessons you've learned on the way and some of the, I guess, the war stories or scars you've picked up, and how you've sought to overcome some of those challenges. Because Echobank's a big organization, and I've no doubt that the journey hasn't been smooth. Be good to hear some insights, get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, a very good question, Charles. One of the key things is really, from a corporate point of view, the strategic intent to partner with, startup. So it needs to be, have a strong buy-in from a leadership point of view, in the strategic intent, in the strategic framework, a room needs to be made for allowing for this type of partnership, okay? Because the challenge is, once in a corporation, especially for banks, once you go with your traditional framework of compliance and control and requirements, very few startups will be able to fit within that framework, okay? So unless you really become more flexible to open the door for ideation and incubation outside of that framework, is not going to happen. So that's the first big thing that I think is important to note. The second thing is having formal engagement within the community is important, okay? Because in the startup world, there's always a feeling that big corporate is, slow, not innovative, and they're going to waste my time and things like that. So unless there's an effort to go to meet with the stakeholders, and that meeting is really not only about the startups, it's about the entire ecosystem. It's about the investors, who are investing into this startup. It's about the academics who are providing some intellectual capabilities. It's about the hubs, right? So you have a number of co-working and innovation hubs. So being part of that ecosystem gives you a seat on the table to have that conversation. Last but not the least is to understand the difference that exists between your requirement as a big organization, the patience that you have as a big organization, and the reality that as a startup, you go through, right? So as a big organization, you have your plan, horizon, you can have, business plan that's running over, a year or two. A delay into your delivery, will cause some issues, of assessment, but it's not gonna materially destroy your life. Whereas as a founder, as a startup, any delay in the delivery is not, it's not an annual plan. It's a, quarterly or monthly plan, and they're trying to really manage the cash flow that they have. They're trying to, to remain, to do the best with what's available to them. So unless you understand that natural difference, it becomes very difficult to make it work, because a delay for you is just a performance issue. A delay for them is a kiss of death sometimes. So I think it's important to understand that and be able to assess and contribute, the most that we can.
That's really valuable, and we've seen it. We've seen it with businesses that we work with. Even getting through the procurement process can often take months off the back of an excited executive saying yes in principle to kind of collaborating, and that really comes at the expense of sometimes even the startup itself. That's really valuable insight.